Have you ever wondered why powerful nations like the USA, the UK, and France now look at China with a sense of caution, even apprehension? The answer isn't just about today's headlines. It's a story that stretches back over a century, a tale of a nation's incredible journey from near collapse to global prominence. Less than 100 years ago, China was a shadow of its former self. The Opium Wars had left a legacy of humiliation at the hands of foreign powers. Internally, the country was fractured by rebellions, crippled by corruption, and torn apart by civil war. For its millions of people, just finding enough to eat was a daily struggle. Cities lay in ruins, the economy was at a standstill, and the idea of a modern, prosperous China felt like a distant dream. To the rest of the world, China was the sleeping giant, a land of immense potential, but one trapped by its history and paralyzed by hardship. The end of the Qing dynasty in 1911 was supposed to be a new beginning, but it only brought more chaos. Warlords carved up the country, foreign invasions battered its coastlines, and a brutal civil war threatened to tear the nation apart for good. It was a time of immense suffering and uncertainty, yet even in the darkest moments new ideas began to spark. Visionaries emerged who understood that to survive in a rapidly changing world, China had to undergo a radical transformation. The old ways were no longer enough. The nation had to embrace new systems of government, industry, and education if it was ever to stand on its own 2 feet again. The year 1949 marked a turning point with the founding of the People's Republic of China. A wave of hope for unity and reconstruction swept across the land. The new government launched ambitious industrial policies aiming to build the factories, railways, and power plants that would form the backbone of a modern economy. But the path forward was anything but smooth. The early decades were marked by immense challenges. Rigid central planning, disruptive political campaigns, and profound social upheaval slowed down progress. For all its efforts, China remained far behind the technological and industrial might of the West. The world still viewed it as a struggling, developing nation, not a future competitor. But beneath the surface, a quiet revolution was taking place. Thinkers, engineers, and policymakers were hard at work. They studied foreign technologies, experimented with small-scale reforms, and began laying the intellectual and practical groundwork for a future that would astonish everyone. China's leaders came to a critical realization. True progress wasn't just about building factories. It required a deep investment in people, in education, scientific research, and strategic industries that would define the future. By the late 1970s, after decades of hardship, trial, and error, China arrived at a monumental crossroads. It had learned hard lessons from its own internal struggles and from the pressures of the outside world. The nation faced a choice. It could either remain stuck in the past, constrained by old ideologies, or it could take a leap of faith. It could embrace bold, untried reforms that might just unlock its vast potential and set it on a path to global influence. This single moment of vision and courage would redefine China's destiny. It was the decision that would transform a nation struggling for survival into a rising powerhouse, one poised to challenge the very countries that had once brought it to its knees. And so began the journey that would lead to an era of extraordinary growth, innovation, and international attention. A journey that would make the entire world sit up and take notice of China as unstoppable rise. By 1978, the situation was critical. Decades of rigid central planning had left China's economy stagnant. The people were struggling, and the gap between China and the developed world seemed wider than ever. It was painfully clear that slogans and ideology weren't enough to build a nation. What China needed was a radical change in its economic thinking. This is where Deng Xiaoping enters the story, the architect of a policy that would change the world. Reform and opening up. Deng had a pragmatic vision. He understood that for China to truly prosper, it needed to open its doors. It needed to embrace certain elements of market economics, encourage private business, and, most importantly, attract foreign investment to integrate itself into the global economy. The first step was the creation of special economic zones in coastal cities like Shenzhen. At the time, Shenzhen was little more than a quiet fishing village. But almost overnight, it was transformed into a bustling hub of industry. Foreign companies were invited in, bringing capital, technology, and know-how. Factories, ports, and massive infrastructure projects shot up from the ground, creating millions of jobs and turning China into the workshop of the world. These reforms were more than just an economic experiment. They were a fundamental shift in how China was governed. The government skillfully blended market forces with state oversight, creating a unique model that incentivized innovation while maintaining stability. The results were nothing short of staggering. GDP growth exploded. Entire cities seemed to spring up out of nowhere, and within a single generation, hundreds of millions of people were lifted out of poverty. The transformation wasn't limited to the cities. In the countryside, agricultural reforms gave farmers the freedom to manage their own land and sell their surplus crops on the open market. This simple change unleashed a wave of productivity, improving rural incomes and living standards dramatically. At the same time, the government poured resources into education and technical training, creating a skilled workforce ready to power China's industrial and technological ambitions. Of course, this rapid growth came with its own set of problems. Fast-paced industrialization led to serious environmental issues, and the massive migration of people from the countryside to the cities put a huge strain on infrastructure. Throughout this period, the leadership had to perform a delicate balancing act, pushing for economic growth while ensuring social stability. But the strategy worked. By the 1990s, the sleeping giant was wide awake. China was no longer just a potential power. It was a global player. Foreign investment flooded in. Made in China labels appeared on products all over the world, and the country became an indispensable part of global supply chains. These reforms did more than just build an economic powerhouse. They laid the foundation for China's next great leap, its transformation from the world OS factory into a global center for technological innovation and influence. China had learned to turn its past adversity into a powerful advantage, crafting policies that leveraged its unique strengths. The seeds planted by the reform and opening up policy were about to blossom into an era of technological advancement and global integration that would once again redefine China's role on the world stage. By the early 2000s, the seeds planted by the era of reform and opening up were beginning to sprout in remarkable ways. China was no longer just about manufacturing cheap goods. A strategic shift was underway. The government began pouring immense resources into technology, research, and high-value industries. Think telecommunications, artificial intelligence, robotics, and renewable energy. Cities like Shenzhen, once a quiet fishing village, along with Beijing and Shanghai, transformed into bustling incubators for innovation, attracting the brightest minds and the biggest investments from around the globe. This is when we started hearing new names that would soon become global giants. Companies like Huawei, Tencent, Alibaba, and BYD weren't just emerging, they were exploding onto the world stage. They didn't just copy, they innovated. Huawei pushed the boundaries of mobile technology, Alibaba and Tencent revolutionized e-commerce and digital payments, and BYD began its journey to lead the electric vehicle revolution. China was signaling to the world that it was no longer a follower in technology, it was ready to lead. What fueled this incredible leap? A massive investment in people. China went all in on STEM education, building world-class universities and research institutions from the ground up. This created a new generation of brilliant engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs, forming a workforce ready to tackle the world's most complex challenges. This domestic talent pool was supercharged by international collaborations and a cultural mindset that embraced rapid development and learning. The pace was simply breathtaking. Of course, you can't have a digital revolution without the right infrastructure. And China built it at a scale the world had never seen. Gleaming high-speed rail networks stitched the vast country together. 5G towers sprouted up in every corner, and futuristic smart cities began to take shape. This created the perfect ecosystem for innovation to flourish. Venture capital flowed in, and a vibrant startup culture emerged, encouraging risk-taking in everything from biotech to financial technology. China's technological rise wasn't just a domestic affair. It began to reshape the entire world. Its products, its research, and its innovations started influencing global markets, supply chains, and even international standards. From pioneering AI applications to breakthroughs in green energy and quantum computing, China demonstrated that rapid development and strategic foresight could go hand in hand. But this meteoric rise didn't come without challenges. As Chinese tech companies expanded globally, they faced tough questions. Disputes over intellectual property, concerns about cybersecurity, and intense competition with established Western powers became the new reality. China had to navigate a complex landscape of global skepticism while trying to maintain its incredible momentum. But through it all, its ambition and ability to adapt remained undeniable. As we moved deeper into the 21st century, it became crystal clear that China's story was no longer about catching up. It was a story of leadership, creativity, and global influence. The nation that once struggled to feed its people had become a central hub of technological innovation, capable of shaping the future of entire industries and global geopolitics. Today, China stands as a testament to what's possible with strategic vision and relentless execution. Its megacities hum with activity, its labs pioneer breakthroughs that were once science fiction, and its companies lead in sectors that Western nations used to dominate. Huawei is a key player in 5G networks worldwide. BYD and NIO are at the forefront of the electric vehicle revolution, and Alibaba and Tencent continue to redefine the digital economy. These are not just Chinese successes. They are global phenomena that influence how we live, work, and connect. The engine of this growth continues to be the government's unwavering commitment to science, technology, and education. Innovation hubs and state-backed tech parks cultivate a self-reinforcing cycle of development, ensuring a steady stream of talent and ideas. China's ability to implement large-scale solutions, from smart city grids to national AI strategies, is unmatched. Naturally, this rise has put the world on notice. Nations like the USA, the UK, and others across Europe now see China as a formidable competitor in technology, economics, and global affairs. The complex dance of trade negotiations, tech rivalries, and strategic alliances all underscore the profound influence China now wields. The sleeping giant, as Napoleon once called it, is not just awake, it's shaping the rules of the 21st century. But this incredible journey is more than just about power or technology. It's a powerful story of resilience. It's about a nation learning from a history marked by hardship and struggle, and using those lessons to craft a new destiny. It's about a vision for the future, coupled with the sheer determination to make it a reality. China's transformation offers a profound lesson for the world, that with strategic foresight and unwavering resolve, a nation can rewrite its own story. From the ruins of the past to the pinnacle of technological innovation, China's journey is not just about growth, it's about vision realized, obstacles overcome, and a future being forged in real time. The sleeping giant has awakened, and indeed, the world is watching. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through China's incredible transformation. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.